Hello everyone. So today we're going to be talking about The Happy Hunter by Henry Paine. So there's only two items I really want to talk about here, but they're two very important ones because they cover through the entire piece. One is the tonguing, and this kind of feel that the tonguing will bring. And the other is the leaping around and how to accomplish that. So the tonguing and the feel of that tonguing is actually written as a suggestion down at the bottom of the page by Henry Paine himself. And it says, at rehearsal 1 and 5, so the beginning where the theme is introduced and then again when it comes back, the solo should be very bouncy sounding. Be certain to play the short notes short and the long notes for the full value. So I'm just going to play a little bit of the introduction here to give you an idea. So that's the beginning. Now, the eighth notes, the first four notes, don't have staccatos on them, but they still want to be bouncy because that's how the feel is. So there's a little bit of a bounce separation. It's a very bassoon-y sound. It basically means a nice light tonguing, not too heavy, with a little space between each note. Then it's followed by quarter notes with a staccato on it. Now, staccato, just as a repeat of maybe some band directors or orchestra directors, staccato does not mean short. Staccato means detached or separated, meaning there's a little bit of space between that note and the next one. So when we have that over top of a quarter note, you're not cutting the note's value by a lot. You're just giving a nice little space between the notes. So now that the note's a quarter note and not an eighth, I still need to keep this bouncy feeling, but make sure to hold it a little bit longer. So I still have a nice bouncy feeling, but it's a little bit longer than the first four notes that I played. And then the last note is even longer than that because it has two full values, so two full beats. It's a half note, so you want to make sure you play that to the end of the phrase. 1, 2. This idea comes back again at 5 when the melody is repeated. However, the next thing that the Henry Paine highlights is that at number 2 and 3, the tone quality and the image and the imagination kind of flips because now you have something that's different. And underneath it says legato. Now legato means a much smoother tonguing. You're going to be more connected. So even though there are still the same rhythms, quarter notes and eighth notes, they're going to sound different. And there are also some slurs that are thrown in here. So just give an idea. That sounds a lot different than the beginning. And they're the same note values, just how you play them and how you tongue them changes. So between my quarter notes, nice light tonguing again, but now it's more smooth and connected versus ba ba ba. This would be if I kept the first tonguing type. Very different, but instead here I have to go. And you keep that all the way through until the the original theme, comes back again at 5. So make sure you really play around with that tonguing and listen to yourself. Possibly record or ask your teacher how it sounds, because that tonguing is huge in making this piece sound fuller and more beautiful and more musical. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about was the leaps. Ever so often you're going to be leaping around between different notes, particularly F and B flat. So for instance, the very beginning, F, F, B flat, F. So that leap, you have to make sure you can get that leap both in technique as well as intonation. So you should practice some of these leaps. Make exercises up, because that will help you prepare how you need your air, how you need to put your fingers down, and how you need to change a little bit potentially in your embouchure to make sure you're in tune. So another example of this is a little bit later. Now you have C, an F, and then going down an F octave. So playing octaves here, particularly F octaves, is also very helpful. I'm playing around with the pitch to make sure you're in tune. How does that feel in your embouchure? How does that feel in your air? What do you need to do with your fingers to go up and down? Because the low F uses a lot of fingers and the upper F only uses one. So practice that, because then it will make it a lot easier to apply that to the piece and just jump in. Because there are a few times when this happens. And then the last really large leap is actually between the C and the B flat in letter 2. So practice that one as well. In fact, you might want to go through and highlight, or not in a highlighter, but with a pencil, circle, there you go, anything that's large, you know, it looks like it's pretty far apart. I would go anything that's larger than a fifth, possibly a fourth as well, because those are good leaps. So something that seems to be getting further and further apart. And practice those. Take those out, take out the rhythms, don't worry about the piece itself, and just practice the leaps and make up your own rhythms, make up your own tonguing, but have a tuner in front of you and get used to playing that combination of fingerings as well as being able to leap with your air and embouchure to support everything that needs to be supported, or open up when you need to go down and register, or in intonation. So definitely explore those two options, the tonguing as well as the leaping around. So this would basically require a lot of little practicing, and that doesn't necessarily mean with the piece itself, just with little sections of it. So this would take a little time when you can just take 2 measures and focus on just something about, okay, I want to make this sound bouncy. How can I practice making this sound bouncy? And once you get the feeling of it, you can start applying it to other measures, and then eventually entire phrases, and then eventually the entire piece. So keep practicing on these types of things. They'll be applicable for a lot of other places as well, and I'll bring those up as we go forward. So good luck practicing, and enjoy the Happy Hunter.